Imagine waking up today to discover that your entire life is being controlled by an unknown ghost. Someone who ruins your decisions, paralyzes you completely in front of opportunities, and forces you to fail time and time again. The major shock is that this ghost is not an external enemy, not your circumstances, and not the economy. This ghost is you. Or rather, it is an old version of you that should have disappeared and been buried years ago. 99% of people fail in their lives because they try to build a bright future while dragging an old, dead identity behind them. Today, you're going to learn how to completely eliminate this weak old self. We will dive straight into the deep psychological strategies and the strict wisdom used by ancient emperors and warriors to become the absolute masters of their destiny. If you do not destroy that weak version tying you to the past, you will find yourself in 5 years in the exact same place, ruminating on the same disappointment and bitterness. It is time for a shocking awakening. 1. Kill who you no longer represent. There is a brutal and strict image in nature that deep Stoic philosophy invites us to contemplate, yet everyone ignores it. There is not a single giant tree on earth that can survive if it tries to hold onto its dead leaves during winter. It lets them fall and rot. It allows them to die so that new, strong and massive leaves can be born. However, we humans do the exact opposite. We want to change our lives, we want to make massive amounts of money and build successful relationships, but we refuse to let go of our old personality. We demand discipline, but we continue to act with the same laziness and hesitation we had 10 years ago. We want blind confidence in ourselves, but we feed our minds with the same daily toxic doubts. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the man who had the world at his feet, wrote a terrifying truth. The universe is constant transformation. He did not say a slight improvement, and he did not say a minor adjustment. He said a complete transformation. This means that your old identity is not your true essence. It is merely a bad habit that has infiltrated you. Imagine an actor playing the role of a weak, broken character for 20 continuous years. He goes home and continues to talk, walk, and act exactly like that character until he completely forgets who he truly is. This is exactly what happened to you. You repeated fear and hesitation thousands of times until you confidently say, "I am a fearful person." You must make a fatal and final decision today. Let this old part die and fall away. Your future will not be built by the person you were in the past, but by the fierce power you decide to transform into starting from this coming second. 2. Things do not happen against you. They happen for you. How many times have you collapsed in front of a massive problem, sat crying, and asked yourself, why is this happening to me specifically? This simple question is deadly poison flowing through your veins. As long as you believe you are a victim of the universe and circumstances, you hand over the keys of your entire life to disasters to control you. 2 people can lose everything on the same day and at the exact same moment. The first gives up, cries, and ends up in the bottomless pit of depression. The second uses that exact same terrible shock as an explosive spark to build an empire and a glory he would never have imagined if the doors had remained closed in his face. The event was exactly 100% identical. The only difference was the meaning each of them decided to give to this event. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire that was in complete collapse, faced deadly plagues and harsh betrayals from the people closest to him inside his royal palace. Yet he understood that true power does not lie in what happens to you, but in how you respond to what happens. Physical pain or shock lasts for moments, but suffering lasts for years because you choose to replay it in your mind like a terrifying tape that never stops. The past has become solid stone. You can never change it. But the meaning you give it is like clay in your hands. When you stop crying and asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and strictly start asking, "What will I build using this wreckage?" Here, tragedy transforms from a concrete wall blocking your path into a ladder you climb to the top. 3. Your emotions are not military orders, they are just information. There is a version inside you that constantly and shamefully loses control. You feel fear, so you run away like a coward. You feel anger, so you explode and destroy everything around you. You feel insecure, so you shrink and become small and humiliated in front of the world. You have spent way too much time submitting to your emotions that you started repeating a defeatist sentence like, "This is my nature. I was born this way." This is a dangerous lie. You are not like that. You just repeated this reaction so many times that it became your own prison. Feelings and emotions are not military orders issued by your brain that you must execute immediately. They are merely data and numbers appearing on your mind's control panel just to inform you of the current status. The philosopher Seneca, one of the richest and smartest men in ancient Rome, used to say that most of the things that cause us suffering and panic live only in our toxic imagination and not in reality. The fear paralyzing your movement right now is not a real danger threatening your life. Rather, it is a massive illusion projected by your brain, and you treated it as an absolute truth. Stoic philosophy does not ask you to turn off your feelings and become a deaf, soulless machine. Instead, it asks something a million times harder and more powerful. It asks you to feel the intense fear that shakes your core, and yet you step forward and take the leap. It asks you to feel insecurity screaming in your head, and yet you speak with power, steadiness, and absolute authority. Only here does fear stop being a wall and turns into a compass guiding you with terrifying precision to where you must go to grow and dominate. 4. What does not challenge you never builds you. Think of Hercules, the famous Greek legend. What would have happened to Hercules if there had not been a single terrifying monster in his path to face? He would have been just an ordinary, worthless man, a name completely forgotten in the dust of history. The terrifying beasts and impossible suicide missions were not obstacles blocking his path. They were the very path that made him. And this rigorously and directly applies to you right now. Look at any person who has achieved legendary and massive success in this world and run them through your imagination. I guarantee you 100% that this person went through hell, lost everything, failed miserably, was humiliated, or started from absolute zero among the rubble. Their terrifying strength was not born despite the hardships. It was born because of those hardships and pains. Absolute comfort and excessive luxury chased by modern society is the mass grave of human talents and abilities. It is the soft bed where dreams and ambitions sleep the sleep of death with no awakening. The wise men used to call adversities and misfortunes the military training ground of the soul. Every suffocating financial crisis, every harsh rejection, every shock choking you right now is actually giving you for free the strength and resistance you need to become an invincible person. Your old, weak version will beg you to run away, postpone the work for tomorrow, and use circumstances as an excuse. Do not listen to this coward hiding inside you. Face the violent pressure with a bare chest and break it. 5. Stop begging for inner peace from the outside world. Look at this brutal truth. Almost all your current happiness and comfort is tied to external things over which you have absolutely no control. You are a hostage to a word of praise from your boss, a hostage to a business deal that must succeed perfectly, a hostage to another person who must act exactly as you want and align with your desires. You have outsourced your happiness to external parties. You placed the keys to your inner peace and sanity in the pockets of strangers and in the hands of blind luck. Then, after all this, you have the audacity to ask with a whimper, "Why do I live in this constant anxiety and stress?" The wise men drew a fiery dividing line thousands of years ago. There is what falls under your complete control, and there is what never falls under your control. You have no control over the opinions of haters and critics, no control over the global economy, and no control over the audience clapping for you. But you have absolute 100% control over your daily discipline, over your hard work and inhuman effort, and over the fierce warrior mindset you wake up with every morning. Flip the equation immediately. Stop wasting your psychological energy and wealth trying to direct the wind. Do your work with terrifying mastery and madness, then let the outcome go wherever it goes. The master archer shoots his arrow with full power and precision, then fully accepts that from the millisecond the arrow left the bow, the wind direction is no longer his business or responsibility. 6. You are completely immune to wounds and insults. You have certainly met that rare type of people in your life, the ones who, no matter how much you try to insult, provoke, or belittle them, you find them smiling with complete confidence and calmness, as if they are solid mountains that do not shake. This is not because they have a heart of ice that doesn't feel, but because they possess a solid inner core and an essence that cannot be bought, sold, or affected by the words of people. No human being on planet Earth has the power to wound or insult you unless you hand them the weapon yourself and open your chest to them. The hurtful word is merely a passing sound, floating valueless in the air, and it can never hurt you unless it finds an old, infected, and open wound inside you to settle in. If someone calls you a failure and you ignite with anger and madness, it is because deep down you have a toxic doubt and fear that their words might be true. Insults and curses are highly accurate free maps. They expose and show you the places where your psychological structure is still flimsy and weak. Instead of hating your critics and enemies, thank them in secret. They are showing you for free the exact places where you need to build your titanium armor. Emperor Marcus Aurelius had the absolute authority to execute anyone who gave him even a look of offense, but he chose to never give them that honor and to grant them absolutely no power over his mind. To be an unbreakable person means to feel the shock, recognize the pain, and yet stand tall and firm on your feet, because your worth and prestige are not up for a public referendum among people. 7. Resurrect your buried dreams anew. There is a silent and terrifying tragedy happening right now in this very moment inside your soul, and you are completely oblivious to it. It is the slow death of your biggest ambitions and goals. In the beginning, you started saying, "The current time is not right." Then you later justified to yourself that real life is complex and impossible. And finally, you deceived yourself and called your surrender and cowardice maturity and rationality. You abandoned greatness and the summit so slowly and in such small doses that you didn't feel the pain of loss and withdrawal. For the ancient wise men, philosophy was not just discussions and polished words to fill the void. It was an emergency surgical medicine to save withering and dead souls. The soul that stops looking towards the summit is a dead soul, even if it still breathes inside the body. Dreaming of great and extraordinary things is not naive or childish. It is the only true test and conclusive proof that hot, fierce blood is still pumping through your veins. That massive project you dreamed of, that radical change, that financial empire you planned, none of this is dead yet. It is merely buried under a pile of flimsy excuses and petty justifications. The soil is still fertile and ready. You must replant the seed today, immediately, not next year, and not when circumstances improve and money is available. Now, the only inevitable way for a dream to become impossible is for you to make the cowardly final decision to stop trying. 8. Rebuilding is your only crushing response. Sometimes life will crush you without mercy and with excessive cruelty. It will take away people you love. It will destroy your bank accounts and turn your brilliant plans to scattered dust. You will find yourself standing alone, staring at the smoking rubble of what used to be your comfort and safety zone. In that dark, defining moment, you have exactly two choices. Either you spend the rest of your life crying over the ashes, or you grab the first brick and immediately start building a new castle and fortress that cannot be breached. The wise men embraced a strict, harsh principle called amor fati, to love your fate and accept it fiercely. To love the miserable failure that destroyed you because it gave you vast, empty land to build something 1,000,000 times better and greater. The person who lost everything possesses a terrifying, supernatural advantage that no one else has. They are no longer afraid of falling because they are already at the bottom, and they have nothing left to lose or to maintain from deceptive appearances. You now have absolute freedom to choose every new brick you place. But listen to me carefully. No one will clap for you. You will have to wake up at dawn in the pitch-black night, in deafening silence, without support from anyone and without recognition from the world, to rebuild your life and forge your glory. This legendary epic build is yours and yours alone. The past has fallen and ended. Acknowledge this and close the page. But the fierce beast and warrior you will build today, on top of these ruins, depends on you 100%. The first step is waiting for you now. Your powerful new version is born.